Hi, how are you? It's Fred again, your storyteller. Gather around, get comfortable, and let your imagination take flight, because today, I have a tale unlike any other. A story of judgment, redemption, and the unbreakable spirit of a woman named Maria. You see, in life, people are often quick to judge. They look at someone, hear a rumor, see something they don't understand, and before they know it, they've made up their minds. But what if they're wrong? What if the person they cast aside is the very one who will save them when they need it most? Maria's story is one of sorrow and strength, of exile and return. A woman they called a sinner, though she was anything but. A woman who walked alone in the world, not because she wanted to, but because others had decided she did not belong. But fate is a strange thing. It twists and turns in ways we do not expect. And sometimes, the ones we reject are the ones we come to rely on in the end. So listen closely, for this is the story of Maria, the sinner who became a savior. Maria had always been known as a sinner in the eyes of her small village. From the moment she was old enough to speak her mind, the whispers followed her like shadows. Unlike the other women, she did not keep her head down or hide her thoughts. She walked with confidence, asked too many questions, and laughed too freely. Some said she was wild, others, that she was dangerous. But nothing cemented her fate more than the fire. It happened on a night when the sky burned red with warning. The old church, the heart of the village, had been consumed by flames. People rushed from their homes, their cries piercing the air, but the fire was too strong. Inside, the priest, the only man who had ever shown Maria kindness, was trapped, along with an elderly widow who had gone to pray before dawn. Maria had been seen outside the church, her dress tattered, her hands black with soot, her face streaked with tears. "I tried to save them," she pleaded. "I tried, but no one believed her. They saw only what they wanted to see, the girl who had never fit in, standing alone in front of the ruin. No one asked why she was there or how she had risked her own life. They only saw the soot-stained hands and decided she was guilty." Whispers turned into accusations. Maria had always been too close to the priest, hadn't she? He had defended her when others scorned her. Perhaps she had taken revenge when he tried to push her away. Or worse, perhaps she had lured him into sin and destroyed him when he repented. It didn't matter that none of this was true. The village had already decided. They drove Maria out, casting stones at her feet as she walked, her heart heavier than her wounds. For years, she wandered the outskirts of the village, surviving on the kindness of strangers, never staying in one place for too long. But even in exile, Maria did not let bitterness consume her. She learned it from the world beyond her village, gaining wisdom, healing others when she could, and finding peace in solitude. But fate is not without irony. One night, a storm greater than any in living memory swept through the valley. The rivers swelled, the wind howled, and houses crumbled under nature's fury. The villagers, trapped and desperate, ran toward the church ruins for shelter, only for the remaining walls to groan under the weight of the storm. The same sacred place they had once valued more than Maria's life was now ready to collapse upon them. And then she came. Through the darkness, through the rain, through the fear, Maria emerged. She pulled the children from the rising waters. She carried the wounded to higher ground. She braved the crumbling stone and lifted those who could not walk. The same hands they had called cursed were now their salvation. By dawn, the storm had passed, and the village stood in silence. Not just because they had survived, but because they had survived because of her. The woman they had cast out, Maria did not wait for their gratitude. She did not need their apologies. As the sun rose, she gathered her cloak and walked beyond the hills, disappearing into the world that had taught her far more than their judgment ever had. They had called her a sinner, but when the time came, she had been the only one willing to save them. People are often judged not for their actions, but for their differences. True goodness is not defined by reputation, but by the choices one makes in the darkest moments. Never let the world's judgment define who you are. Let your actions speak for themselves. And that's our story. I hope you learned something from it. Once again, this is Fred, your storyteller. If you like this story, please share this video with your loved ones, like, and follow me for more amazing stories. Thank you for your support, and see you next time.